everybody, and welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experiences that make running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis, and I'm a self-admitted lazy ultra runner.
And I'm Mitch, and I'm an injured runner.
Yeah, you are not joining this fabulous fun that we have lined up this morning. Those that are watching will see that we are in a completely different setting. We are at the Riverbank Run training run, right? One of the training runs. And we have Tracy Hickson joining us, which is a great start to this podcast because you explain what it is you do.
Yeah, so for the Amway Riverbank Run, I manage the charity partner program, and then I also get the honor of putting on the big finish fest, which is the party at the end of the race, which is what makes it worth it, right? When you're done running, that's me. Yeah.
So give me a preview. Where is it going to be this year? Is it going to be inside again this year?
It is going to be inside. It's going to be in DeVos Place this year, which is, great from the elements perspective. You got to get through it when you're running. I can't cover you there. But when you come in and you're ready to party and have your beer, we got you covered.
That's funny because I don't even remember that it was inside last year.
It was. That was our first year inside last year.
Did you even run? I can't remember the last time you ran.
I did. I ran. It's just funny that I don't. I do now. I mean, I recall it, but it's funny. I must have taken off kind of early. I don't know.
I went in because I did my team triumph and we finished so late, and it was all my fault, I think. But I just remember going in and I kind of walked through, and maybe you did, and then took off right away.
I think I did, but I think the beer line was long, so I decided not to
We're going to fix that. Trust me. We
Yeah?
know the most important thing when runners are done is where's my beer,
Oh,
and
that's
we'll get you.
funny.
So that tells me that we're going to finish in front of DeVos Place again then. So
We are, yes.
So the course will be like it was last year.
Exactly like last year, yes.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into a little bit about the charities and charity partners.
Yep. So the biggest piece that I love about the race is the community aspect of it. It's really, when it was formed, 46 years ago in downtown Grand Rapids by Old Kent Bank founders, it was to bring people downtown and help the downtown businesses. And we've continued that and kind of spread out through our charity partner program. So every year we send out applications to almost 100 nonprofits in the area, and they have to apply to be a partner with us, and we screen them, we go through the interviews, and then we try to select one charity that's going to touch on somebody's heartstrings, whether you're an animal lover, in it for the kids, community aspects, helping out those that are less fortunate. We pick one that when you look at our run sign-up page and our donation page, you're going to find one that's that's what I'm going to run for.
Yeah. And that has changed a little bit this year compared to some prior years. Like prior years, we called it, or you guys called it the Road Warriors, right?
So the Road Warriors is actually a training program that we actually would tie people training for the race to a charity partner and have them kind of work with that partner through their training. This year we have charity ambassadors that are from each of our charity partners. So they picked somebody who's already in their organization and said, I'm going to help you train for the race, but I also want you to help promote the charity. So we pivoted a little bit, but it's still been really great to get people out there posting and their journey and including their charity partner in that.
So it's just a little bit different take on the Road Warriors, though. So it's similar, but it's It
is similar. Well, we just tied them more to the charity partners this year, and we made that connection a little stronger.
And you have a personal connection with this because you have been a Road Warrior.
I was. I have worked for the race for 20 plus years, and in 2019, I thought, wouldn't it be neat to experience the other side? I've helped put on the race, but I've never crossed that line at the 25K level. So in 2019, I said, I'm going to be a Road Warrior. And so I started training with the rest of the group for the 2020. Well, we all know what happened in 2020.
You got to run it in the fall then.
So actually it was virtual in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
So we, the group of us with my fellow Road Warriors that year decided we're going to continue our journey. And we kept training and ran it all together in 21 in the fall.
Oh, nice.
That was the fall race, because it got canceled 2020 virtual, and then it went to the fall in 2021.
Yeah. So we just kind of kept together as a group and said, no, we're doing this like the big way. Like we are doing the big race. And just continued our journey and ran it in 21.
Awesome. Well done. Why don't you just give us a quick, who's the charity partners this year?
Yeah, we have 4 official charity partners this year. We have Paws With A Cause, we have Family Futures, we have the Storehouse, and we have Still I Run. So again, when you look at these organizations, they're very different. They serve different sectors of the community. So someone's going to find one of them that really incents them to make every mile count just a little bit more as they're getting ready for the race.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know what Paws For A Cause is. I mean, I've seen that, but I was clicking on the page, I think yesterday or the day before, and I was trying to figure out what each charity stands for then.
Right, so Paws With A Cause is usually the biggest one people know. You're going to see the
Yeah.
woofers and little furry guys all around, and who wouldn't run for their furry kid, right?
Yes.
We just have Still I Run, and that is a running organization that's bringing awareness to mental conditions and mental health. So that's their focus. Family Futures is all about getting families off to the right start. So young kids, a lot of people need a support group, they need resources, they need community involvement. And Family Futures really focuses on that age group, that kind of 2 to 5 age group.
Yeah, I saw up to 5 or
Yep.
something up on their website.
So they really work on that. And then Storehouse is a great organization that helps bring resources to other nonprofits or schools or things like that. They partner with corporations that donate extra supplies or goods, and then these other nonprofits or teachers or things like can go in and get those goods at a very reduced cost. So again, everyone is serving a different sector and adding value.
And we're sitting here in the David D. Hunting downtown Y, and I understand that, what was the last one you said? The Future...
Family Futures? Storehouse.
Storehouse is connected with the Y somehow. They've got some connection there.
They do, and they have also a big connection with a lot of the organizations around who needs these resources, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who can take advantage of what they've got in their warehouse. So there's a lot of these that overlap from a corporation perspective and definitely community involvement.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for just sitting down with us and giving us a quick overview of what the charity partners are now today and how they're connected with the Riverbank Run this year and probably moving forward, I'm sure. And I know you are super busy with all things this morning with this run. If you could see what we see, there are a ton of people getting ready to go out and get their training run in this morning. So we are going to let you get on and do what you do. And thanks so much for joining us on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, hey, everybody. We want to welcome Adam to the podcast. He is the ambassador runner for Paws With A Cause, one of the charity partners with the Riverbank Run. Welcome, Adam.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's start with number one. One of the things we like to ask anybody that comes on to the podcast is because you are a runner, what got you involved with running? What got you involved with distant running, endurance running? Just give us a little bit. I see you wearing an Ironman hat. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background there?
Yeah, so I've always been, fairly active growing up as a student, and during college I kind of lost my way in that realm, as many people do sometimes.
People do.
So it was probably around 2011 when I got out of school, started working, and I found myself just needing to do something. And it was really a mental health thing for me, just to get out and get some fresh air, get some sunshine, get some endorphins, get the blood flowing. And so I picked up running. I was in high school, and that I was a sprinter, so I didn't have any experience with long distance.
Yeah.
So
you ran for 30 seconds or less.
Exactly, yeah. If you're lucky. So I would just go out and run a mile or two. And I did that for maybe about a year or so. Slowly started to increase the distance as that goes. And I kind of hit a plateau at like 3.8 miles around my house at the time. And I remember a friend gave me some crap about, like, you didn't even hit 4 miles. I'm just like, well, that's the route that I do.
You can run in the parking lot.
Exactly.
Get that last a little bit.
Yeah, and so I just started, I thought, I think I want to do a race. And so I made a goal of a half marathon, trained up for that, and finally did my first half, stuck at that distance for several years. I would say
that's a comfortable distance.
Mm-hmm. I would say probably from 2011 to 2015, 16 or so. So it was about 5 or 6 years of just halves.
Yep.
Finally decided, you know what, I think I can do a full, even though it was really daunting and intimidating.
For sure it
I'm like,
is,
how
yeah.
the heck could you do double of what you just did? But sure enough, got a nice training plan, stuck with it, and did my first full marathon. I think it was 2018. And then
What was your full marathon?
this is Grand Rapids.
Okay.
So it was a nice course, flat.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all know. So we were having some drinks and game night with some friends just a month or two after the Grand Rapids Marathon, and our friend who was over had just competed in an Ironman. It was Ironman Chattanooga, and his swim got canceled because of the high current in the river. And so he was training to do another one, and he said, hey, if you can do a marathon, you can do an Ironman.
Oh yeah,
And
totally
of course,
the same.
he caught me on the right day at the right time, in the right state of mind.
And you had a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I think you're right. I can
Oh,
do
my
that.
goodness, yeah.
And so I was in.
Awesome.
Started training for my first full. We did one in 2019 in Louisville, Kentucky. Our swim got canceled.
Oh really?
Yeah. And so I said, I feel like I did it, but I didn't really do it. So
Yeah.
I need to find another one.
Why was the swim canceled?
It was high levels of algae in the Ohio River.
okay, yeah.
And it happened to be the last time they held a race in Louisville.
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
know that they got rid of that. I did it in 12 or 13, I think, something like that. No, it had to be after that. But anyway, I've done Louisville as well. But I think it was one of the last ones in August when they did it in August.
Yeah. Great course.
Yeah,
Great
it's
finish.
Fun swim when you can do it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, and so I said, you know, I feel like I didn't really do it, so I'm going to find another one. At that point, you know, you can do
Yeah.
the distance and everything
Yeah.
like that. And so I signed up for Ironman Lake Placid.
Oh,
And it
that's
was-
a great one.
It was supposed to be in 2020, and
Oh,
so
geez.
COVID happened. We were waffling back and forth, or they were waffling back and forth of whether they could have it or not,
Yeah.
the city and the township and all that. And so they ended up canceling and pushing it back. So I was training for
Oh my gosh.
you know, for the race over 2020 and into 21. But 21 it happened.
You finally got
I
to
got
do
it. Yeah.
everything.
Yep. And
Oh my
so
gosh.
my wife had been training with me the whole time, also doing Louisville with me.
Oh,
And she had a fall on the bike in Lake Placid
oh no.
down
No way.
Keene, yeah. She was lucky, you know, it wasn't serious injuries, but it knocked her out of the race enough.
Oh my goodness.
And so I had finished my redemption from Louisville, and unfortunately she wasn't able to finish. So she's like, once she got back home and everything, she's like, I think I can do another one. And so she's already trained up. So we looked at the calendar and said, what's left in the year, and we found Maryland.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so we both went out
It
there.
used to be Beaches to Battleship or something.
No, that's
right?
North Carolina.
Oh, North
yeah.
Carolina, okay.
Maryland is Chesapeake Bay
Oh, okay.
on the ocean there. And so we did that. That was two.
And
full-
she didn't crash.
She completed the race.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
great time. That was my second in I think like 7 or 8 weeks.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
And so I
Oh,
did.
my
So at that
goodness.
point I'm hooked.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, wow.
And so, just to kind of wrap this up, I earned enough points through the all-world program and got invited to the World Championship in St. George, not in Kona. It was
yeah.
the first time they had it in St. George in 2022, so it was last year. And so those
Yeah.
are the 4 that I've completed.
wow.
And so that's
Oh,
my
my
story,
goodness.
going from 3.8 miles stuck there to
Yeah.
2 Ironmans in 7 weeks.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's good.
That is really good.
So when's the next one?
The next Ironman, I don't know. I've done several halves and stuff like that. That's a good distance,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Anything half. It does seem like half marathon. I love it. The half Ironman is a great distance as well.
Half 100 miler? That's a
Yep.
good one.
Like the half 100 miler too.
Yeah,
That's true.
We've thrown out the idea of a 50 or something like that to
Oh,
kind of
nice.
keep pushing. But my wife and I have been doing a lot of marathons in the last couple years since we
Yeah.
started the Ironmans, and
If you want to push yourself, dive into the ultra world and do a 100 miler.
And
If, you,
just
if
go
you're,
straight
if you're
up.
one that likes to do push yourself mentally, do a 100 miler. It will push you beyond
Yeah.
anything
Okay.
mentally. So let's get to why we're here and why you're sitting down with us. You are the ambassador for Paws With A Cause. Tell us a little bit about, number one, just Paws With A Cause.
Yeah.
Because you're a board member.
That's right.
As well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Paws custom trains assistance dogs for people living with disabilities. These dogs are amazing. They help with independence, quality of life, and dignity and respect for these people. And so they train dogs in hearing, seizure response, autism, and physical disabilities.
The seizure response one is one that amazes me.
Yeah.
I just, the ability for a dog to be able to understand what's going on with somebody and predict, hey, you have an issue.
Yep.
How does that, like, and maybe you don't know, maybe you do know these details, but like, how does that process work? Does the dog bark? And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does the person get that signal, and what do they do? Like, what's that look like?
Yeah, the details of how the dog knows is beyond my pay grade.
Yeah.
But I do know that they are able to notify the person that the conditions are right.
Gotcha.
They know enough to know that when this situation occurs, I need to notify them. And they do. And so the biggest thing is that we don't have people out driving a car, right? They can maybe phone a friend or a neighbor and make sure that, or get whatever they need to respond to the seizure in a very quick time. So it's truly amazing. I mean, every time we go in there and see a demonstration of a dog opening doors or picking up credit cards off the floor or anything like that, it's truly incredible what they do. And I mean, the training process is about 2.5 years for a dog to go from puppy to fully custom trained. And that's what the great thing about Paws is they custom train the dog for whatever specific need that person has, even down to the details if they're left or right-handed, what type of side. So it's really a custom match. And the great thing about it is that it's absolutely no charge to the client. There's like a $25 fee to apply to get on the list. And beyond that, there's absolutely no charge. And Paws With A Cause doesn't receive any government funding, no insurance charging. And so that's why it makes this is a huge opportunity for Paws to get involved with like the Riverbank.
So how do they get their funding? All donations?
All through donations of individuals, corporate friends.
That's incredible. I guess that's good to know because I never would have known that. I would have thought they're getting government assistance or getting something. You know, I would have thought people paid for it.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. I'm glad you shared that piece. What is the process? So you said that it starts at a puppy. Does somebody come with a puppy? Does Paws With A Cause like, hey, come in, we'll talk about it? Like, what's that look like?
Yeah. So the Paws has a really sophisticated breeding program. So they'll breed their own puppies, and they have an army of volunteers who help foster raise the puppies from about 8 weeks through maybe a year and a half. And that's how actually we got involved with Paws, is through their foster puppy program.
Oh, okay.
And so we were at an event one day and saw a Paws table, started talking to them. I'm from Grand Rapids, so I've always been fairly familiar with Paws, and so we got involved with them through the foster puppy raising class. And it was just, again, once we got in there, starting to see the training that they do, started learning more about the impact that they have. It was a really natural next step for me to get involved from a board's perspective.
They use a specific breeds? Is there,
Yep. So they have a lot of labs, so labs and golden retrievers. They do a lot with Papillon. So they're smaller dogs with big ears, and they're typically the hearing dogs.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of poodles as well.
Oh,
so those
poodles
are
really smart. And I've been told that. I've never had one, but yeah.
Yeah, those are the 4.
Okay. That's awesome. What else can you tell us about Paws With A Cause and why you're obviously you're on the board, so you do have that connection, but what else can you tell us about them and why it's so neat that it's a sponsor or partnership with the race?
Yeah, I think the one thing that we didn't hit on is that in addition to the hearing, seizure, disability, physical disabilities, and autism dogs, they also provide a lot of facility dogs to hospitals, schools, corporate places, not only throughout West Michigan, but throughout the country as well. And so they're a national company that's headquartered in Grand Rapids and in Wayland, and they have a huge impact. Obviously, a lot of their dogs are placed locally just because they're local presence, but they have a nationwide presence, and they're really a leader in the field from the attention to details that they have for their training, for their breeding program. They're really a premier leader in the industry.
Gotcha. That's incredible. I'm glad you shared the piece about the funding, because I think a lot of people could just go without and think it's taken care of.
Well, it makes me curious about just the funding. They're probably obviously looking for people that are foster as well. So what's it take to foster a dog?
Yeah. Not much. It's pretty easy. We had no experience with dogs besides our family dogs growing up. No, they provide all the tools that you need.
Okay.
They will hand you the puppy. They'll obviously do a background check on you, make sure you're not a threat. But then they'll hand you the puppy, and they have weekly or bi-weekly classes that you'll bring the dog into. If you're around Grand Rapids, it'd be Wayland in the headquarters, and they provide all the training. They do the training.
They
you just
need
got to
somebody
go
to
and
house the dog, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine you're potty training it and stuff like that.
Potty training, that's the fun part, right?
Yeah.
But you're also able to bring them out and socialize them in social settings, because, as you know, when you have a service dog, they're going everywhere with their person, and they're going to stores, you're going to the movies or whatever. And so when you have a puppy that's 6 months old, it's really important that you can start bringing them into those environments at a young age, so they just become, used to that. And so that's one of the fun parts, is bringing them to Costco or Lowe's and stuff like that. And
because you probably have a special, like a code or whatever they wear that says that there's
the same thing that the full service dogs have. It's just a miniature size, and it's everyone always likes to see them out in the stores.
Well, before we let you go, how's your training going?
Training's going good. We're actually training for the Cincinnati Marathon the week before, so I'm a little ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
And so, we did about 16. We'll do 16 today, and
and
go from
healthy, no issues.
Yeah, knock on wood. I haven't had any serious issues.
You still have to get out today yet, though.
Yeah, I'm a evening runner typically, and so on the weekends I'll kind of wait until midday or early afternoon to get the long runs in. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Is that Flying Pig? Is that the one that you're... Okay.
Yeah, we've heard great things. We've been down in Cincinnati a couple times visiting some friends.
Have you done that one?
I was going to. That was going to be my first double. So I ran Nashville the day before and passed out at the finish line, and I decided it was a bad idea.
Yeah, probably don't want to go.
Nashville's hilly, isn't it?
It is, and it got hot.
Okay.
So at the finish line, and then I had, because it's that time of year, I had fasted from alcohol, and I had 2 beers at the finish line. I think it dropped my blood pressure enough with the heat that it dropped me. Not a good thing.
Well, hey, Adam, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for telling us a little bit more about Paws With A Cause, and have a great race. And, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, hey, let's welcome to the podcast Sasha and Kim with Still I Run.
Good morning.
Good morning. You guys just got back from your run.
We did.
Nice. Welcome back. What did you guys get in?
We did 4 together.
I did
talked
6.
the whole way. Oh, yeah, she did 2 before me. Yep.
Oh, nice.
She's a go-getter.
Overachiever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just coming off an injury, so just trying to build back up.
Okay. Well, Kim, let's start with you. You are the ambassador for Still I Run.
Correct.
This year for Riverbank Run. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about your history with running, what got you into running, and what got you connected with Still I Run.
So running, I've always been a fitness instructor for the last 30 plus years. When my daughter was in preschool, one of our classmates, asked what I did. I said, I teach step aerobics. She's like, oh, I always want to do that. I'm like, I'll bring my step to your house and show you. So one day when we were at her house doing steps, she's like, do you want to go for a run? It's like, from what? Why would we do that? Okay. She's like, I just walk out the door and go. And she's like, yeah, I got to get a few miles in today. I was like, okay. So I ran 3 miles with her. And I was like, well, that was kind of fun. And so interestingly, at the time, she was from Florida and I hadn't been a runner. So we started doing a little running. And I was like, hey, there's this thing in Grand Rapids called the Riverbank Run. It seems like a big deal. I don't know. And so I was like, let's sign up. And so we did, and I was hooked. I did really well at it. And so then I was like, oh, I can do this.
So your first race was the 25K?
It was not. I did the 5. She did the 25.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep. And I did it in like 22 minutes. And then afterwards she said, well, you did really good. And I was like, really? Because I stopped and got water at every aid station. I didn't know why all those people were handing me water. So I just did it. So I then realized I had a little bit of kind of a genetically gifted ability to run fast, and so then I signed up for every race I could thereafter, and have really enjoyed it. And so really struggled with mental health all of the 90s, and really wanted to manage it holistically, which was against the grain in the 90s. And so running was my sanity. It was really the thing that kept me from spiraling a lot of times. And so just a couple of years ago, I was at an event and somebody had the Still I Run shirt on, and I was like, what is that? And when he told me it was related to mental health, I was like, I need to be a part of that. And so there it was.
That's what got you connected.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, Sasha, you are with Still I Run.
Yes, I'm the founder and executive director.
Oh, well, then you are very with Still I
It is
Run.
my life.
Well, why don't you, first, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what got you into running, because obviously you run, and then tell us more about Still I Run and what it is, and yeah.
Yeah, so I was hospitalized for depression and anxiety back in 2011. And when I was hospitalized, one of the things that they taught me about was medication and therapy, and also developing a healthy habit. So my parents were runners. I grew up with runners in the house, and I was like, well, I guess my healthy habit can be running. And so after I was released from the hospital, I took my dog out for a walk, jog, waddle, whatever you want to call it. And I started putting together that when I got out there, it really helped my mental health. Like, this was now going to be a part of my mental health toolkit, running, medication, and therapy. And so immediately I dove into running head first, and I joined a group of people at work that were training for the Riverbank Run. And I was like, well, I guess I'll do the 5K. And then I just kept going every week, training with them, and eventually I did the 25K. So my very first race was a 25K here at the
awesome.
Riverbank
Oh, wow.
Run. I eventually wanted to connect with other people that also ran for mental health. There's great strength in community and knowing that you're not alone and that other people run for the same reason. And so I started looking for a local group here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Like, all right, there's got to be other people that run for mental health. This isn't just an epiphany Sasha Wolf had. And so I started looking, couldn't find anything. I searched Michigan-wide, couldn't find anything. Nationwide, couldn't find anything. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to start this myself. So I launched a Facebook page on World Mental Health Day in 2016. That's October 10. And it was just a shot in the dark, like, hey, maybe friends and family will come join me. And 6 years later, almost 6 years later, like, it has exploded into this national nonprofit, which is just more than I ever could dream of.
That's an amazing story. What is it that you do? Like, what does Still I Run do?
We are the only nonprofit running community in the country that works on a nationwide level to promote the benefits of running for mental health.
Keep going.
Getting people into running for mental health, so helping them overcome any barriers they may have into that, and then just developing a community around that, a community of mental health running warriors across the country. So making it a natural movement of people running for their mental health.
So is there different chapters then? So you have leaders in different areas kind of thing?
Yeah, so we were supposed to launch our Run Chapter program in 2020, and, well, you all know what happened there. So 2021, we finally launched our Run Chapters. We've got 10 across the country. We've got applications right now for 30 more.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if we'll be able to accept everyone just yet, but yes, we've got chapters around the country, and then we've got a program called the Starting Line Scholarship, where we help people overcome any barriers they may have when it comes to running. So getting them coaching, running shoes, plugged into the community, entry into a 5K, 10K, yep. And that is open nationwide. So we've got people all over the country that are a part of Still I Run.
Wow. So how many people?
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, if you look at our numbers across social media, it's only like 20,000 people. But
Only.
but we have people that join our run chapters and our programs that we have, and then we got really lucky this year. We've got charity partnerships with the Amway Riverbank Run, the New York City Half Marathon, the New York City Full, the Honolulu Marathon, and Marine Corps.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So do you get an entry into Honolulu Marathon that way then?
Yeah, I mean, I feel guilty taking one, but I will. We will definitely have a team there.
I wouldn't feel guilty. Like, why?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
We have 6 bibs that it's first come, first serve. We'll be opening those up in a couple of weeks here. So
See, I was more thinking the Marine Corps one because that is such a difficult one to get into.
it's already sold out. They just opened up. It's already sold out. We have 50 bibs for the marathon, hint, hint, or 20 for the 10K, hint, hint, if anyone's interested.
I'm interested.
I've run that race. It's amazing.
I was in the Marine Corps, so it's one of those I want to do because I was in. So and it fills up so fast. But the thing is, like, my wife and I both run, so we've always both wanted to do it. And the whole lottery system is like, well, you can't guarantee you both can get in, so it's such a pain. I'm just curious, how many people get involved with Still I Run? And Kim or Sasha, either one of you can speak to this, but like, I don't think a lot of people think that running is a way to, or an avenue to help fight mental either depression or whatever things that you're struggling with. How often do you find that where you're talking to people and you're going, hey, you could run and help some of that?
Oh, all the time. And even if they're not runners, like, one thing we always say is, even if you don't want to run, walking is fine. Because as we were just chatting on our run together, like, forward is a pace. So it doesn't matter how fast or slow or how long you
Relentless
go.
forward progress.
Forward is
That's all
a
you
pace.
need.
So yeah, we run into people all the time telling them, just 15 minutes of running or an hour of walking can help improve your mental health. There are studies out there that back that up.
I think. Oh,
I was going to say, there's people that give me a hard time about how much I run and how my wife puts up with it. And I think my wife knows that if I'm not running,
Absolutely.
I'm not fun to live with.
no,
Yes.
exactly.
So I've been dealing with an injury for a couple weeks.
Well, a couple of years now, really.
Well, it's
off
been a
and
couple
on.
weeks, but it's flared up. Like, my back has flared up the last couple of weeks, and I tell you, it's rough.
Yeah. It's for the people that live around you. Yeah. That was
my
me.
birthday. My birthday was this week, and she got me one of those lights, that are supposed to,
Yeah.
for
Oh,
the,
yes.
The sunlight.
I have one.
And she says to me, like, yeah, this is for your grumpy ass. I'm like, oh, thanks.
In answer to your question, too, I think if you just get connected with Still I Run, and then when you get on the community Facebook page, you'll see there's so many people that are struggling with, they're not always running. We're all struggling with some injury, and they're sharing there. But they would see that just moving helps with your mental health, and then you see people's stories or connect with other people who are not running as much as they want, but they know it helps their mental health. So they're like, I just got out for a 1-mile walk today, and so that part, I think the community piece of it is what's huge, is that when you get online with their group, you feel a sense of connection. And somebody I saw just posted this morning, like, I'm just venting here because I think somebody might, you guys might get this, and we do. We totally get what they're going through. And there's that needing to feel like you fit in or somebody gets you.
Yeah, like you're part of something bigger almost. And the really interesting part is when you do say running helps mental health, like people that have been running for years, it's like a light bulb moment. Like, oh yeah, I do feel a lot better mentally if I'm out for running. So it's Still I Run, I guess, has been kind of like that gap to bring everybody together that runs for mental health and introduce more people to it.
Yeah.
And put a name behind the cause.
Yeah.
Like, put a name to it. Like, what is your, what am I looking for? The not a tagline. What is your company?
It's just Still I Run, Runners for Mental Health Awareness. So
mission statement is what
mission
you're
statement.
Yep.
Mission statement.
Runners for Mental Health Awareness. That is, it's as simple as
To kind
that.
of tell them about your logo, though.
Oh yeah, the logo. Oh my goodness, there's so much meaning behind that. So, so when I first came up with the idea of Still I Run, I was like, I need to come up with a name for this group, like Depressed Runners. Nope, awful name. Runners for Depression, also a bad name. And so just so happens I was training for my very first marathon at that time, and after my first 20-miler, I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo for myself, and it's going to be a take on Maya Angelou's poem, which is so poetic and beautiful, but I'm going to spin it for me, and I'm going to have it be Still I Run. So no matter what I'm going through, still I run. And so it's a tattoo. Like this was not supposed to be the name of the organization. This was just supposed to be for me, and it ended up being the name of the organization. But the I in it is a semicolon, which stands for the semicolon project. When you are writing, you can choose to end the sentence with a period or continue it on with a semicolon. So it's all about like your life is the sentence and you are the author and you are choosing to continue on. So it is green. The semicolon's green because that is the color of mental health awareness. And then the whole logo is over an arrow because in life, sometimes, if you're shooting a bow and arrow, you have to bring that arrow back just a little bit to go forward and hit your target. And so it's all about, sometimes there's setbacks in life, but you end up going towards your target. So yeah, the whole logo, originally a tattoo,
everything.
It's all packed with meaning.
That's a lot more than we put into I Don't Know Running Contest.
It's because it was, we don't know anything. I mean, that part's easy.
That is great. Thank you for sharing that. Kim, I just have to ask Kim, how is the training going? How are you feeling? You said you're coming back off injury. Is everything healthy? Are you ready to go?
This is the great part about mental health journeys. So in 2019, I finally broke that 2 hour at Riverbank that I had missed by like 20 seconds one year, 30 seconds another year, like close. So I was so excited to get my 2 hour club. And then in 2020, we closed down.
Right.
2021, we ran it in October, right by River, right. And then last year, it was hot.
Yes, it was.
I was just talking about that.
And so this year was going to be this was like I was going to run for this community and I was going to get my 2 hour club again. And then I ran 9 miles on December 31st, and January 1st I ran our Breaking the Stigma and Stride 5K and tore the fascia on the bottom of my foot. So I probably am not. I'll be lucky if I do the 25K, but it's again that mental health journey of like I'm getting pulled back a little. I'm gonna go forward somewheres, and it's gonna be a good forward, whatever it is. I'm just gonna be happy to be out there running the miles and bringing awareness to this awesome community of people that are really empowering. I mean, we have some people in our community that are inspiring, amazing. They've gone through some really tough stuff, and they share their journeys with us. I'm getting teared up just thinking about a couple of them.
Amazing people.
Yeah. So is my training where I'd like it to be? No.
I don't think it's ever where we want it to be, though, to be honest.
It is great to have it to be something outside of me, and I'm going to just do my best to let people know that this amazing organization and the 39 scholarship is so cool to get. That's the other thing is like you say to someone, they say you can't run, you can say, well, we have this really cool 39 scholarship. We will get you to the 39 and we will get you to the finish line.
Well, I would say, based on what I've heard, you're a great ambassador this year for Still I Run.
We love her.
I mean, for what you're having to go through, and obviously running is a big piece of Still I Run, but also you and what you do in order to stay mentally fit and healthy. And here you are having to deal with this.
Yes, and I was telling Sasha on the run this morning that yesterday the little minions in my head had convinced me I was a horrible ambassador and that Sasha just wanted me off the team, and she had something special she wanted to talk to me about today, and I was like, it's bad. I know it's bad. And my friend was like, maybe it's not. I'm like, no, I'm sure it's bad. And so I can't wait to go and tell her this is a really good conversation we had about this really great opportunity.
That's great.
But anybody who out there gets mental health, you're going to be like going, yeah, I know those people. I have those people in my head too.
The minions, yep.
Yeah.
I bet. And so I guess to wrap this up, if anybody listening wants to get connected in any way, how do they get connected? StillIRun.com?
StillIRun.org. Yep. And then we're also on Facebook and Instagram. And then honestly, if anyone wants to run the Riverbank Run with us, we would love it. We've got these really sweet jerseys. I just showed the team yesterday, where if you reach the $250 fundraising minimum, you'll get one of these jerseys to wear proudly on race day. And you will stand out in these jerseys.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for joining us, Sasha and Kim. This has been great. Thanks for sharing a little bit about Still I Run, and I hope, Kim, you get healthy enough to do whatever race it is you want to do it and do it well.
Yep. Forward is the pace, as we say. I'm going forward.
Thank you for joining
Thanks
us.
for having
Yeah,
us.
thank
Yes, thank you.
It's been great. Thanks. Well, hey, everybody, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, even on Instagram, even though we're not on there a lot. We are actually on there. But yeah, go ahead and go check us out. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and share this with somebody else that may enjoy this type of a podcast or might get something out of it. But until then, be sure to tune in next time as we share more about what we just don't know. And until then, happy running.